Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Mangesh Tushi, working as assistant professor in Maratha Vidyapasar Samaj, Nashik. Friends, in last video we have started electrogrammetry. In that case, we have completed electrode reactions, deposition potential, completeness of deposition, and condition for the deposition. Now in this video, we are going to learn applications of electrogrammetry. Friends, the main application of electrogrammetry is electrolytic separation of metals by using controlled cathode potential. This is coulometric method of analysis. This method is used to separate two metals which are differ in their deposition potentials by an adequate magnitude so that one metal can be deposited on cathode in preference to other metal. In the grammetric method, a metal to be determined is deposited electrolytically upon the suitable electrode, and from the gain of weight in that electrode, the amount of metal in the sample is calculated. The electrolysis is carried out under a system of measuring and controlling cathode potential. It's called as controlled cathode potential electrolysis. This is the particular apparatus which is used for electrolysis with controlled cathode potential. So this apparatus consists of cathode, anode, one reference electrode, that is saturated calomel electrode, and electrolytic cell. The cathode is made up of cylindrical platinum wire gauze, that is platinized platinum gauze. The anode is made up of coil of platinum wire, and the reference electrode is a saturated calomel electrode. The cathode is working electrode while anode is a counter electrode. Salt bridge. This is the salt bridge which connects reference electrode to the cathode. So this reference electrode is connected to the cathode by using this salt bridge. The potential of cathode is controlled by the adjusting applied voltage between working electrode and counter electrode. So this is the potentiostat, that is variable voltage. We can manage the potential difference between cathode and anode for the control cathode potential. The potentiometer is used to measure the applied voltage. Friends, in electrolytic separation of metals with control cathode potential, in a coulometric method, the weight of the metal deposited on the cathode is found out indirectly by measuring the quantity of electricity which is required to bring a chemical reaction. So, in coulometric method is based on the application of Faraday's law of electricity, which may be expressed in the form that the extent of chemical reaction at an electrode is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passing through the electrodes. The quantity of electricity can be related to the weight of the substance deposited on the electrode during electrolysis. So that formula is given: W is equal to Wm into Q divided by 96,493 into N. In this formula, W is the weight of metal deposited on the electrode. Q is the quantity of electricity passing through the cell, that is current in ampere into time in second. Wm is the gram molecular weight of the substance being electrolyzed, while N is the number of electrons involved in the electrode reaction. Now we'll take the example of separation of silver from the copper. Suppose this is the system which contains 100 ml of solution. In that case 0.05 molar AgNO3 is there, and that is a mixture of 0.05 molar AgNO3 and 0.05 molar copper nitrate, and 1 molar HNO3 is there. So the cathodic potential at which the concentration of Ag plus ion will be reduced by given by the equation like this. Suppose that concentration of Ag plus ions is reduced to great extent, that is around 10 raised to 7 molar, suppose, then the potential applied to this cathode is equal to 0.08, that is standard electrode potential for the silver solution, plus 0.0591 divided by 1, this one is the number of electrons are involved, into the log of 10 raised to 7. So this is the extent of reduced concentration of silver. So that formula will become 0.387 volt at 25 degrees Celsius. The value of cathodic potential at which the copper will start deposited will be, so E applied for the cathode is equal to 0.337, that is standard electrode potential for the copper solution, plus 0.051591 divided by 1 into log 5 into 10 raised to 2. So that will become 0.299 volt. So where E versus standard calomel electrode is equal to E versus saturated hydrogen electrode. So these are the standard values: 0.387 for this electrode minus 0.245 is equal to 0.14 volt. This is the potential for the saturated standard hydrogen electrode. So the potential difference between cathode and reference electrode must be 0.142. Then the cathodic potential is controlled at particular level, that is 0.387 volt. If the applied cathodic potential is maintained at the value of 0.387 volt related to the saturated calomel electrode, is required a value E versus saturated calomel electrode, that is around, the difference is around 0.142 volt. See here, so this one is single electrode potential in volt, and like 0.0 for standard hydrogen electrode. For this saturated calomel electrode, that is 0.245 volt. The cathode potential at the copper deposits became, that is 0.299, just we have saw that one here. And this is the desired limiting cathode potential for the silver deposition is also 0.387, that also we have seen over here. So the difference between desired limiting cathode potential for the silver deposition and standard calomel electrode, this difference should be 0.142, then only the silver will start depositing at the cathode. Next application is electrolytic separation for copper and nickel. The constant current electrolysis is used to separation for the determination of metals in alloys, such as series of alloys like Monel metal, coinage alloy, cupronickel alloys. These alloys are mainly contains copper and nickel, and some impurities like iron. So in such determination, the impurity is removed and these two metals are electrodeposited at different applied potential. For that purpose, weigh about 0.5 gram of alloy and put in beaker containing 100 ml of distilled water. Add 1 ml concentrated H2SO4 and 2 ml concentrated HNO3 and boil the solution to make a clear solution of alloy in 100 ml and solution. So cool this solution and electrolyzed by using platinum wire, platinum gauze cathode and platinum wire anode. The copper is determined, so the copper will be deposited at that cathode in acidic condition. So the copper is determined by using strongly acidic solution with current around 2 to 4 amperes and potential difference is around 4 volt. After deposition of this copper on the electrode, dry the cathode and then wait about how much amount of the copper is deposited on the electrode. After that, the remaining solution is evaporated to remove excess of nitric acid and the presence of iron is precipitated with ammonia, that is alkaline solution, and then that iron will be precipitated, we can filter it out, so iron will be removed. The excess of solution, the excess addition of ammonia makes solution alkaline and lowers the pH of the solution, increases the pH of the solution, so that after deposition of the nickel is complete, the electrode is dried and weighted. So first copper will be deposited on the cathode and then nickel will be deposited on the cathode. Simultaneously, nickel can be deposited on the top of copper also. Thus, the separation and determination of both copper and nickel is achieved by this electrolytic method. So what are the apparatus used for the electrolysis? So first is the electrolysis unit. So electrolysis unit required for electrodeposition. So in that case, DC, that is direct current main supply, that is around 200 to 240 volts. A storage battery like 6 to 12 volts. R1 is a fixed resistance and R2 is a small high wattage variable resistance. This A is a ammeter reading up to 10 ampere current, while V is a voltmeter reading up to 10 to 15 volt potential difference, and E is a electrolytic vessel, and S this is the switch. Different types of commercial apparatus for the electrolysis are available and most of them used in this circuit. Next is electrodes. So these are the electrodes. These electrodes are generally made from platinum or platinum iridium alloy. Various types of electrodes have been used. The gauze electrode are preferred because they offers a good circulation of electrolyte and large surface area. The electrodes widely used in independent like the stirrers. So this is known as Fisher type of electrodes. Uh, these are the mercury cathodes, which are finds widespread application for the separation of constant current electrolysis. Then we will see electrode vessel. The electrode vessels, these are the electrode vessels. So this is a tall form of beaker without lid, is generally used to hold the solution for electrolysis. So this is the tall form of beaker and a split clock glass with a central hole here is that central hole, to prevent a loss by spraying. Split cork glass with central hole is used to cover the electrolytic vessel. Then we'll see stirring. So stirring, it reduces the time required for the deposition. So this is the stirrer. So stirring is reduces the time for deposition. The inner electrode, that is usually anode, is used as a stirrer. Sometimes the independent glass stirrer operators are like operates with the using motor mounted above the electrolytic vessels, which is good. Sometimes magnetic stirrers are also used for the stirring. Next is use and care of electrodes. How to use and take care of electrodes, because the gain in weight of the electrodes, that is the metal deposited on the electrodes, we have to take the weight of that metals. For that purpose we have to take care of the electrodes. So first, electrode should be free from grease. So it should not be oily, it should not be contaminated with the grease, because otherwise adherent deposit may not be obtained. It should not be touched with the fingers, because our fingers also contain some natural oils. Because of that one also, adherent deposit may not be obtained. So we should not touch our fingers to the electrodes. Electrodes must be cleaned before and after use. That is, obviously you have to take care of electrodes that must be clean and dry before using, so that whatever the weight deposited on that electrode, that can be measured accurately. For washing it should be rinsed with dilute nitric acid, that is oxidizing agent also. So for washing it, it should be used as a dilute nitric acid and then wash with the water. Sometimes we have to wash these electrodes, uh, we have to boil these electrodes for with concentrated nitric acid for 4 to 5 minutes, then washed with the water. For uniform deposition, the surface of the platinum should be smooth and bright as possible. Friends, now we'll see some problems to understand the electrogrammetry. First problem we'll take, these are the solved problems from the books. Calculate the initial potential needed for the current of 0.078 ampere if the electrolytic cell has a resistance 5 ohms at 25 degrees Celsius. This is the cell given, copper, sorry, cobalt iron. So this is iron concentration is around 6.4 into 10 raised to minus 2 molar, and anode is Zn2 plus. The concentration is around 3.75 into 10 raised to 10 raised to minus 2 molar. So the solution. So here we have to find out the initial potential which is needed for the electrolytic cell. So the potential of electrolytic cell is equal to the potential of cathode minus potential of anode plus IR drop. So the potential for Zn electrode, that is potential for the Zn electrode is equal to the standard electrode potential for Zn plus 0.0591 divided by 2. 2 is the number of electrons are involved in this electrolytic process, into log of the concentration of cell Zn ions, that is 3.75 into 10 raised to minus 3. So if you put this value, that is standard electrode potential for the Zn, that is minus 0.763 plus this calculation 0.02955, and this is the log of this one, so minus 2.4260. If you calculate this value, that will come around minus 0.8347 volt. So the electrode potential for the Zn is minus 0.8347 volt. I will calculate the potential for the cobalt electrode. So that will be equal to the standard cobalt electrode plus 0.0591 divided by 2 log, that is the concentration, 6.4 into 10 raised to minus 2. If you put these values, this is the given value, standard electrode potential for the cobalt, that is minus 0.277 plus this calculation, that is 0.02955, and log of this value is around minus 1.1938. So this is after calculation, that will become around minus 0.3123 volt. So the electrode potential for the cobalt is minus, or cathode, that is minus 0.3123 volt, and the electrode potential for this one is minus 0.8347. But as we know that for the calculation of electrolytic cell potential, we have to add this one also, that is IR drop. I is the current in ampere while R is the resistance. So current is given 0.078 ampere and resistance is given 5, so that will be 0.39. Then we put these all calculated value in this equation, we'll get the electrolytic cell potential, that is around plus 0.9124 volt. Second problem, the cell. So this is the cell SN2 plus. The SN2 plus concentration is 8.22 into 10 raised to minus 4 mole. Then CD2 plus, cadmium 2 plus, the concentration is 7.5 into 10 raised to minus 2 molar. Has a resistance R is given 3.95 ohm. Calculate the initial potential that will be needed for the current. So the formula, as we know that E cell is equal to cathode minus anode potential plus IR drop. So we have to calculate the potential for the cell, electrode potential for the tin, electrode potential for the cadmium, and IR drop. So for the electrode potential for the cadmium is equal to standard electrode potential of the cadmium plus 0.0591 divided by 2. This is Nernst equation. So log of 7.5 into 10 raised to 2. If you put these values, here is the tin electrode. So here we will put these values. Standard electrode potential for the cadmium is minus 0.403. This calculation will be 0.02955. Log of this value is minus 1.1249. So after calculation, that will be minus 0.4362 volt. Same will be here. Standard electrode potential for the tin, that will be minus 0.136. These are the values. This log of this value is around minus 3.0851. So after calculation, that will become minus 0.2272 volt. Put this value into IR drop. Now this is the IR drop, current into resistance. Current is given around 0.072 ampere. Resistance is 3.95 ohm. So IR drop will be 0.2844 volt. If you put all these values into this formula, we'll get this cell potential, that will be plus 0.4934 volt. Thank you friends. Thank you for the watching.